Tonight on 12 News, a major construction project underway in Plymouth. This one affects a school and the entire community. Plus, a crime alert in Golden Valley, what police say many residents are forgetting to do. But first, 2 Crystal police officers on paid leave for months. Now members of the Crystal City Council are looking for answers. 12 News starts right now. 2 Crystal police officers remain on paid administrative leave for allegedly raising concerns about police mismanagement.
They will be the subject of a support rally next week, and Delane Cleveland joins us now to explain. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Crystal Police Officer Alan Watt and Sergeant Rob Erkenbrock have both been on paid administrative leave since the fall, and there's been no official public declaration as to why. Yet one group says it's because the officers spoke out against alleged corruption among Crystal Police administration.
This is appalling, folks. We can't have good officers punished for doing the right thing.
That was Michelle Gross, president of the group Communities Against Police Brutality, earlier this month. Her organization has posted flyers all across the city urging people to attend a support rally for the 2 officers at Crystal City Hall on Monday. Meantime, the general public isn't the only group in the dark. Crystal Council members say they only know what's been published in the flyer.
And so this is a huge concern to us, and that's pretty much why we have really written a fairly stern letter to the city administration, the city manager, that, you know, let's get to the bottom of this and find out what the truth is, settle it, and let's move on.
I also spoke to Crystal Mayor Jim Adams this morning to get his take on the fact that taxpayers have been footing the bill for these officers to be on paid leave for so long. He said the majority of the council, including myself, share that concern and are not sitting on our heels. We also understand the potential expenditures down the road. We are very cognizant of that, and we are moving in a fashion to try to limit those expenditures. We want the police department with a full force of officers. Well, Mike and Alex, we did try reaching out to the Crystal Police Chief, Stephanie Revering, previously, but she was not able to comment on this matter, citing state labor confidentiality laws. So,
all right. Thank you, Delane. Yep.
Quick work by Brooklyn Park Police helped arrest a suspect who tried to rob a woman who was out for a walk. It happened shortly before 7:30 Tuesday night at Candlewood Drive in Hampshire Court. Police say a teenage boy went up to the woman, reached into her pockets, and tried to take her cell phone. The woman was able to get away, and the suspect ran off. Police were able to arrest him a short time later.
Golden Valley Police are reminding residents to lock their cars after a series of thefts in the northeastern part of that city. Over the last 2 weeks, nearly 24 cars have been broken into, including 5 cases near the 3200 block of Lee Avenue North. In most of the cases, the cars were unlocked and valuables were stolen during the overnight hours. Golden Valley Police Chief says these cases are preventable.
Number one, first and foremost, if you have a garage, use it for your car. If for whatever reason you can't use your garage for your car, or you're parking your car on your street, lock it. Don't leave any kind of valuables in there at all, even a small amount of change.
The police department doesn't have any suspects yet, and you're urged to call police if you see anything unusual in your neighborhood.
There is a new wedding theft case, this one under investigation by Orono police. They're trying to determine whether it may be connected to a recent wedding theft at Edinburgh, USA in Brooklyn Park. In that case, 2 thieves were caught on surveillance camera. Police say they stole a Maple Grove couple's wedding box filled with cards. A man was seen on security video walking through the kitchen with that box. And there was also a recent wedding theft in Ham Lake. The case in Orono happened at the Lafayette Club on Lake Minnetonka.
It's headquartered in Brooklyn Park. Now a significant piece of its manufacturing operations will be in Brooklyn Park too. The Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal reports that Scherer Brothers Lumber recently signed a lease for a warehouse facility near the Hennepin County Recycling Center just off of Jefferson Highway. About 50 employees will relocate there from facilities in New Hope and in Coon Rapids. Scherer Brothers supplies lumber, cabinetry, windows, and doors primarily to custom home builders. Providence Academy is getting a major makeover.
The school has started work on an ambitious plan that will make dramatic improvements to its school grounds and athletic facilities. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how the project will also benefit Plymouth residents.
We have a long-range project involved here.
With blueprints on the table,
and stakes in the ground, the Make Your Mark, Build a Pride project is underway. The first phase of the plan is the Link building.
It doesn't look that big, but it's quite substantial, and it's going to provide new space for middle school gathering, new space for middle school offices, a large conference room.
It will include offices for middle school and staff, a TV studio, and storage space.
A conference room, which we very much need for the school as a whole, and a lot of good storage space.
Now this is the second part of the phase, the athletic fields. They're going to add turf, move the field, and even include a dome.
Move our football field to the north, sink it down a bit, artificial turf it, improve our stands, create a wonderful concession, welcome, ticket, restroom area.
The community will also benefit from the athletic complex.
After hours, special times during the week, and on weekends, we certainly can envision that we'll be in a rental relationship with the citizens of Plymouth, make this available to people who need space in a dome.
The third phase is a new state-of-the-arts performing center.
Be around 500 seats. It will accommodate a lot of people. We're going to design it such that it has a really intimate feel, both with a first level and a second level, so everybody can be close to the kids.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Link building is already funded. Providence needs about $4 million more to complete the rest of the project. If you'd like to donate, you can check out the school's website. Coming up, gas versus diesel. What's more efficient on the highway? 12 News Money Savers takes a look.
And then later in sports, Osceo's American Legion baseball team gets set for state tournament play.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
Fourteen students at Cooper High School are back from a summer trip they will remember the rest of their lives.
They spent 10 days in Costa Rica on a science mission. Their goal, map the genes of a type of ant.
We sequenced about 243 genes into Mega to make like a phylogenetic radial distribution.
Okay, translation. This is cutting edge stuff here that students admit they never thought they would be able to fully grasp at first. The trip was an invaluable way to get students interested in future careers in science and biology.
I got a bigger understanding about how amazing it is to work with something that I thought was way beyond my own potential.
They're different students when they come back. You know, when they get off that plane, you can just tell how much they've learned.
The Cooper team worked with professors from the University of Costa Rica on the project. This is the fourth trip to Costa Rica that teacher James Stanton has taken his students with. And to give you a better sense of the work involved, another student, DJ Pearson, says this type of work has the potential to better understand and eventually control diseases.
Wow.
Trip of a lifetime,
Amazing.
I'd say.
Yeah.
A study out this month reports what scientists have known for a long time.
Cars that run on diesel are more efficient than cars that use gasoline. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton spoke with an expert today to find out what this means for you, the consumer.
This year, the 2014 Chevy Cruze is on the road. It's powered by diesel fuel, giving consumers an alternative to gasoline or ethanol. But if diesel is usually more expensive at the pump, is it really cheaper in the long run to drive a diesel-powered car? We went to the University of St. Thomas to find out from Professor John Abraham, who studies energy.
We remember diesels as these smoke-belching vehicles from the 70s and 80s, and really they've come a long way. And they're now cleaner and cheaper than regular gasoline cars.
It all boils down to what happens inside the engine of a car.
It's because the thermodynamics of the combustion, you get this piston going inside a cylinder, you can actually get a longer stroke and more power out of the stroke. So you're using the fuel more efficiently. You can't do that with gas because the gas will knock.
And because it's more efficient, it could mean big-time savings.
I think it will be the next new trend, especially when people realize they're going to save a lot of money. These aren't pennies or dollars. These are hundreds or thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your vehicle.
But don't take his word for it. Instead, check out the numbers.
If you drive a gas car that gets 25 miles per gallon.
You drive that car 150,000 miles, you'll spend $21,000 in gas.
What happens if you drive a diesel vehicle that gets 35 miles per gallon?
Even with higher diesel costs, driving 150,000 miles
leads you to about $15,000 in fuel costs at today's prices. That's a pretty big savings, and I think consumers need to think about that when they buy a vehicle.
We checked with the local dealership, Brookdale Chevrolet, and they only got one of the new diesel-powered cars in, and they say it sold very quickly. They are asked about new diesel-powered cars quite frequently, and they say they look forward to selling them. Mike and Alex?
All right, very interesting. Thank you. Well, coming up, Maple Grove has some new tricks up its sleeve. We'll show you what the newest attraction is in that city.
But first in sports, he's gone from a high school powerhouse to a college champion. Catch up with Grant Olson in this week's The Next Level. John Jacobson is in next.
John Jacobson with sports, and the next thing is on to the State American Legion Tournament.
For both Chester Bird and the Osseo Legion team, starting Friday. The Osseo American Legion baseball team plays in its first state tournament game Friday afternoon. It's a journey they might not have expected at the beginning of the summer. As the last out in the Sub-State 9 Legion tournament was recorded, the kind of celebration you might expect for a state tournament berth took place. Perhaps it's even more special for this group, because the majority of the roster is made up of guys who won just 2 games this spring for the Osseo High School team.
A lot of people didn't expect much out of our team. The high school squad didn't have a terrific year, and to make as much noise as we did and go 4-0 through the subsection, that says a lot about Case as a coach and the work of our program.
It was tough. It was a tough year for us. But yeah, the older guys coming back really got us up and going again, because we were down from the high school season, but it did help with those guys to just bring a positive atmosphere back into the game.
The Legion team carries a 20-11 record into state. Pitching depth, good defense, and timely hitting has carried Osseo this far.
They're a team that is really never really out of it. We kind of experienced that this weekend with 3 games where either we were tied at the end or had to come back in the last inning. So we're definitely a team that is never out of it, and a scrappy team and a team that can find ways to win a baseball game.
A handful of 2013 players were on the Osseo Legion squad that 2 years ago reached state. That experience should help a team that set high goals for this weekend.
We never want to be just a participant. I don't think that's anyone's goal. And our first practice right after winning the sub-state was Case sat us down and said, we're not just going to be happy with going there, we're going to win this thing. So yeah, we're going to be working for the best.
Osseo opens play Friday at 1 o'clock against Matamidi. That game is at Chanhassen High School. Chester Bird of Golden Valley takes on Eastview in its first game Friday morning at 10 at Braemar Field in Edina. Wayzata graduate and North Dakota State University senior Grant Olson is on a good run as a college football player. NDSU has won 2 straight national titles, and Olson is a dynamic linebacker for the Bison. Jason Melillo profiles Olson in this week's The Next Level.
Grant Olson racked up an eye-popping 148 tackles last season as North Dakota State continued to establish itself as the premier program in the football subdivision.
It's been a lot of fun, first off. It's definitely been a great experience, just being able to meet a lot of new people. College football, traveling, going to different locations, seeing different parts of the country and things like that, and playing other great players. We've played a lot of really good teams. I have a lot of really good teammates, so being able to play with them, practice with them, work out with them has been a lot of fun.
Coming out of high school, coaches at the University of Minnesota told Olson he was too short to be a college linebacker. NDSU coaches thought otherwise. In fact, as a true freshman in 2010, Olson played in all 14 games for the Bison.
When I came into the recruiting process, I know Coach Bull and the other guys let me know that they needed depth at the Mike linebacker position and that I would be in contention for it. A lot of that kind of developed during fall camp with how are you going to play, how are you going to be ready to go, like physically, can you come in and can you compete and things like that. Our defense is very difficult to learn, so it actually took me, about half the season to really, truly understand what I was doing, and then due to some injuries, I started playing an awful lot.
By his junior season, Olson was a starting linebacker for NDSU, and he credits the Wayzata system for allowing him to make a seamless transition to college football.
I think one advantage that I had over a lot of other players just coming even onto my own team was the experience that I had in high school. A lot of guys didn't have such a structured weight program in the offseason that I have. Guys hadn't learned how to watch film, how to prepare, how to do those extra things to take care of your body, and to really get yourself ready to play football at a high level.
Grant Olson wants football to be a part of his life long after his playing days are over. He's a student of the game and a natural leader, qualities that could take Olson to the coaching ranks.
I was at a convention this winter, and Coach Bowl, the head coach of North Dakota State, had talked about him. And he came up to me after, and I talked to him, and he said to me, in his 30 years of coaching, Grant's the greatest leader he's ever had a chance to coach, and that it's just been so much fun to watch him and what he's done. And he's just a special kid, and it doesn't surprise me. And I think they'd hire him tomorrow.
Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Before possibly getting into coaching, Olson tells us he does plan to pursue a pro football career after graduating from NDSU. And still another year of college to go, and we'll see where it takes him after that.
Not done yet.
No,
Thanks,
no.
John.
Yeah.
Still ahead, a celebration for Maple Grove's newest attraction.
We'll take you there next when we come back. And here's a look ahead to Thursday's 12 News. August 1st is a historic day for Minnesota and a big day for many Twin Cities couples. And we catch up with one set to get married. Plus, we're in the garden to tackle a thorny problem. And in sports, we'll hear from Terry Tuma for his weekly Channel 12 fishing tip. Those stories and more right here Thursday, beginning at 4 o'clock. And finally, if you build it, they will come. It applies to stadiums and skate parks.
And that seems to be proving true at Maple Grove's newest attraction. It didn't take long for area teens to find their way to Maple Grove's new Skateboard Park Plaza. The $287,000 plaza outside the community center is much larger than the city's old skate park, and it's not just for skateboarders.
It offers a variety of skating. Before it was just skateboarders and inline skaters. Now we have BMX bikes, we have the razors, scooters, all of those things.
The ribbon cutting and grand opening for the Skate Park Plaza will be held this Saturday at 1 o'clock. The third layer skateboarding competition begins at 3 on Saturday. The guys out there looked pretty good.
Yeah, we were out there this afternoon, and the place is remarkable. I mean, it's got a lot of, I don't know what you call them, jumps or rides
Those would be
or rails.
grinders, right?
Yeah.
Mini tacos.
But those guys, they know what to do with them. They're pretty good.
And about 24 kids out there today.
Yeah,
so
it was a busy afternoon.
well used. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.